On today's edition of Sports Stats 2.0, we have the top 10 pass rushers of all time. First, we have Reggie White. White played for the Eagles, the Packers, and the Panthers over a 15-year NFL career. During that time, he totaled 198 sacks, and including his time in the USFL, White has 221 sacks, making him professional football's all-time sack leader. White is a Hall of Famer, a 13-time Pro Bowler, an 8-time All-Pro, a Super Bowl champion with the Packers, and a 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Next, we have Deacon Jones. Deacon Jones was selected by the Los Angeles Rams in 1961 in the 14th round. So Deacon was not known, and he was actually discovered by accident. So the Rams were scouting running backs during that time and found a defensive tackle who was outrunning the running backs. So Deacon's speed and his quickness allowed him to run down any player, regardless of position on the field. And that really revolutionized the game and morphed the defensive end position into a speed and athletic position, not necessarily like the traditional defensive linemen before, who were stout and who were more strong run stoppers. Next, we have Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith is the NFL's all-time sack leader with 200, two more than Reggie White. So Bruce Smith, he's a Hall of Famer, an 11-time Pro Bowler, 8-time All-Pro, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. And he was also a part of that Buffalo Bills teams, those teams that played in 4 consecutive Super Bowls. And he was the glue of that defense. So for that reason, Bruce Smith is number 3 on my list. Next, we have a linebacker who is arguably the best defensive player ever, the best all-around defensive player. And the fact that I have a linebacker number 4 on my pass rushing list really attests to his abilities as an all-around football player. So LT had 132 sacks over almost a 13-year NFL career. And he really, just like Deacon Jones, he revolutionized the game. He changed the way that offensive lines blocked him. And if you look at the Blindside movie and that clip with Joe Theismann, with him sacking him and hurting him, he changed the left tackle position into one that is paid like a quarterback's paid. So, for those reasons, Lawrence Taylor is definitely a top 4 pass rusher ever. Next, we have another linebacker, Kevin Greene. Kevin Greene was selected in the 1985 NFL Draft by the Los Angeles Rams. He played in 221 games in his 15-year career. 8 times he was among the NFL's top 10 sackers, leading the NFL twice as a linebacker. And this guy was kind of overshadowed because he played in an era with LT, with Bruce Smith, with Reggie White, with all these other pass rushers. He's kind of overshadowed in history, but we really can't overlook his accomplishments. He played in 6 conference championships during his 15-year career, which is crazy. So for that reason, Kevin Greene's up there. He's up there as one of the best to ever do it. Next, we have Michael Strahan. Strahan was selected by the New York Giants in the 1993 NFL Draft. Strahan is most known for his 2001 season where he recorded 22.5 sacks. But another really important thing about Strahan is his consistency. Strahan, from 93 to 07, was able to do it consistent. He totaled 141.5 career sacks, making him the 5th all-time at the time they retired. So Strahan's one of the best. Next, we have J.J. Watt. Watt was selected in 2011 by the Houston Texans. Watt reminds me of Reggie White in so many ways. Watt's got that unique size, that speed, that just raw talent. And he was, so at the time he was selected in the NFL draft, you know, he was one of the best in college football, but a lot of teams weren't necessarily sold on him. And that quickly changed in his second season, for sure, after he recorded 20 and a half sacks at just 23 years old. It's ridiculous what he was able to do, especially early in his career. So over a 4-year span, he was a All-Pro 4 times, a Pro Bowler 4 times, led the league in sacks twice, led the league in TFLs 3 times. And in addition to that, he is just such a great player overall. However, the reason why he is number 8 on this list is because he's got some durability issues. So he was hurt in 2016, 2017, and 2019. And that really kind of hurts him, putting it into a legacy perspective. However, if you're just looking at it from a raw talent standpoint, he's a top 10 all time, even at this point in his career. So next, we have a defensive tackle. The first defensive tackle I put on this list, and the only. So Aaron Donald is so unique in so many ways. He's 6'1", 280 pounds, but he's a defensive tackle. He looks like a running back, but he's a defensive tackle. You know, most guys that size have giant guts and are slow. This guy moves like a running back, looks like one too. He's just so talented that even at this point in his career, only 6 years into it, he's already a top 10, no doubt. So next on the list, we have Chris Doleman. Chris Doleman was selected by the Minnesota Vikings in the 1985 NFL Draft. He began his NFL career as an outside linebacker in the Vikings' 3-4 defense, but once 1987 came around, the team decided to switch to a 4-3, which moved him to becoming a defensive end. This ultimately helped him, and he became a tank. He totaled 150 career sacks over 15 years, where he became an 8-time Pro Bowler, a Hall of Famer, and one of the best to ever do it. So here's my top 10 list. I hope you guys liked it. I'll see you guys soon.